See, the thing is, you only got to fuck up once. Be a little slow, be a little late, just once. And how you ain't gonna never be slow, never be late? You can't plan for no shit like this, man. It's life.
Alcohol, right?
Yes, sir. We are back. This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and in this segment, we're gonna get right into it of what's going down in the gun-toting town of Memphis, as Ja Morant is clashing with his head coach Tuomas Iisalo. And in this segment, we're gonna take a look at what took place in that first half versus the second, and also some of the nuances of the internal politics that's been going on in Memphis, as they slowly been hinting to Ja Morant ever since his second gun incident that their patience is beginning to wear thin, as we'll hear from an NBA media insider as to some of the messaging that they sent to Ja Morant through a very subtle ESPN produced segment where they threw hints that even Ja Morant's father was being looked at with a different eye. And this was put out by ESPN, the very same company that gave Ja Morant that softball interview after his first gun incident, where they clearly didn't take it as serious. Him talking about, oh, it's my mental health. And then it looked like a Nike ad as he was sitting in that empty room, and the only thing that really illuminated was that Nike logo. So once again, in this segment, we're going to take a look at this from a number of angles. And they had a few stagnant possessions in the first half, but overall, I thought it was pretty decent from Ja. He had 8 points, 4 assists, 1 turnover in the first half. But the Grizzlies didn't have that usual pep in their step, that bounce to the offense. Guys didn't look like they were on one accord. And it's a far cry from how things were with Ja right here in the 2021-22 season, where just off rip, just look at him go downhill, applying a lot of pressure on the rim. And even with AD and LeBron on the floor, he looked like the best player out there. Now in the first half, Ja had a number of plays where the possession was pretty stagnant, as we can see right here. Ja is he's not really involved at all. And ironically, that should not be the case because the Lakers have weak rim protection. Now, even in transition, things were kind of getting a little weird as Ja right here goes under. Him and Wells are going to be gone. And check it out. It's only Reeves. 2 Lakers are back. It's 3 versus 2. But Wells and Ja, they just camp out at the 3-point line. See, there's no added pressure on the rim at all. So the Lakers recover and KCP is still able to finish. But Ja just camping out at the 3-point line with all that athleticism. Again, in case some of you forgot, just right off the tip-off right here, look at the rim pressure Ja applies. It's one hell of a challenge. And that's AD that he took on. So the real question is, why was Ja sitting in the corner? And we're going to see a number of examples of that was in this very game. And it ended up trickling over to the post-game press conference. Again, we're still only in the first half. So check out Ja Morant right here. Remember, he's not a 3-point shooter. So why is he only sitting and hovering around the 3-point line? Doesn't make sense. He's going to be in the corner the whole play. Nothing happens. Look at Ja still hovering around the 3-point line. Why? With all that ability to put pressure at the rim. So internally in Memphis, there's a lot of politics at play with Tuomas Iisalo. Even him making his way into the Grizzlies organization while Taylor Jenkins was head coach. The Grizzlies went out of their way and bought out Iisalo from his contract out in Paris for, I believe, about $1 million and paid him almost about the same in salary just to be the assistant coach. And during that final season for Taylor Jenkins, they really ran an offensive system that was designed by Iisalo the whole time. So it did not come by any surprise when Jenkins was fired and Iisalo was instantly promoted as head coach. So before we get to the second half, check out what Ja Morant had to say about their play style. Ironically, myself, I went to a Knicks game in Madison Square Garden where Ja played, and he did not look like his usual self either. I don't know if that's a thing. Sometimes Ja kind of, he's very, I don't want to say he's emotional, but he's one of these guys that he does wear his emotions on his sleeve. And when he's killing it, we see him dancing and rejoicing, and he looks happy, and he brings a different flair to the game. So anything that happens behind the scenes, it's going to get reflected on the court, as we'll touch base later on.
What went wrong to you today?
Go ask the coaching staff.
Do you feel like, I mean, there was anything you could do differently, I guess?
You go ask them. They had a whole spiel in here, so.
From the outside, and the outside may be wrong, but from the outside, it didn't look like you had your usual energy tonight.
Go ask the coaching staff why.
Okay. You feel like you should play more?
Go ask the coaching staff. Should I play more or not?
What had been done?
Else?
What could have been done different to get a different outcome, other than asking the coaching staff?
According to them, probably don't play me. Honestly, that's what basically the message was after. So it's cool.
The coaching staff message was
It's
it?
cool. Bro. We good?
You didn't have anything physically wrong in terms of illness or anything?
Oh, no,
You
I'm
were
good.
under the
I'm
weather.
fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Once again, Ja Morant wears his emotions on his sleeve, and the cat's definitely out the bag. Let's not get it twisted. As right here, he gets the screen to go on the empty side. Normally, when he goes downhill, you know, Luka is the low man. Ja can go up. He made Anthony Davis look small, but just coming off this screen, just passively gives it up. Just one more time. Look at him just go off. This is completely passive. No explosion coming off that screen. And once again, Luka is the low man. Lakers have no rim protection, and he barely drove all game. Once again, let's not get it twisted. Ja Morant in his element. Look at this blow by. Quick stutter step. We know what he could do. Boy, there's definitely two sides of the coin when you play with a lot of flair, a lot of swagger, the way Morant does, because it's going to show when you don't have it. When you don't have the flair, don't have the swag, the burst isn't the same, you can't hide it. And just the way he reacted during that post-game presser, just spilling the beans like that, his emotions were definitely at an all-time high. Once again, we're looking at the second half. I don't know what was said, but Ja very passive right here. He's just going to camp out at the three-point line. Doesn't even make an attempt to dive right here to try to get free. Try to show for Wells. Everyone's camped out at the three-point line. No one's showing up for him at all. That's kind of crazy because we all seen Ja kind of take off with little runway. Coming off this screen, he doesn't necessarily just turn on the engines. He turns it on now, and look at that. He still takes off crazy, applies a lot of pressure at the rim. Man, this is kind of crazy. Look at Ja Morant come off this screen. Since we ever seen Ja look like this? Oh, man, Ja, that is crazy. Ja look like a role player the way he even passed the ball. He don't give a fuck right now. Sheesh. No explosion coming off that screen. Like he could have came off the screen, apply a little pressure going downhill, force Luka to stunt in a little bit more. We know he's slow on that recovery and possibly hit Wells, but just look at the way, look at that shit. What the fuck? There's just no spark, no energy. No pep to his step, no bop, no nothing. I mean, look at the difference. He drives right into traffic with AD there. This is right before the gun incident. This is a few weeks right before it. In the NBA, your prime years are not really a guarantee, or just having a prime run, even for 6 years, is not even a guarantee. It really shows you how a lot of guys' momentum could really be short-lived. And for Ja Morant, at times when he was on the court with LeBron and AD, he looked like by far the best player. And this is in the 2021 season and also in the 22-23 season. But ever since his off-court issues, that same season, that same spring, he has not yet regained that positioning within the league. He's had a few cases of not staying healthy long enough in the playoffs, going up against Golden State as of recent. And because the NBA is constantly a revolving door, players are kind of cycling in and out. And eventually he's clashing in with the head coach or just a system the team wants to run. So he does have an uphill battle, even though at a point he almost seemed like he was untouchable. The signs have always been there. Make no mistake about it. The signs have always been there from the Memphis Grizzlies that their patience was beginning to thin out just a little bit. But now it seems like it's very apparent, especially after the Desmond Bane trade. That cycle of the Memphis Grizzlies have been quickly blown up. But right here, we're going to listen to a quick segment in which the Memphis Grizzlies kind of was sending a message to Ja Morant in the start of the 2023 season almost through a proxy messenger, aka Tim Bontemps, as he kind of alluded to a lot of inklings internally in regards to Ja Morant as well as his father. You guys check it out, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
And what role would you say his father has played in this? Because he's been a very visible part of Ja Morant's career from the beginning.
Yeah, T. Morant certainly has become a celebrity in his own right. He's a courtside constant. We mentioned the incident with the Pacers in Memphis last year. He's right there arguing with the Pacers alongside Devontae Pack. He got into it with Shannon Sharpe at a game in Los Angeles when Shannon Sharpe was arguing with some Grizzlies players. He came in, T. Morant, and got involved in that. And again, I think that there have been I know that there have been some concerns within the Grizzlies organization and within the NBA that T. Morant has struggled to find a line between being a supportive father and being part of the entourage, or being a supportive father and being a celebrity.
Now that right there is very personal. They're making statements about his father supporting his son. And this is the very same network, ESPN, that gave Ja Morant that softball interview where he tried to act like, oh, it's my mental illness. And he was in that empty doctor room with Jalen Rose just giving him real softball questions with that Nike logo. Even the whole interview itself wasn't taken as serious about what he did with the gun incident or just showing it off in social media. That shit wasn't serious at all. It was just a PR move.
One source put it to me like this. He said, T has been a major driving force in all of this. He never made the NBA, but this was his chance to live like he's an NBA superstar.
This interview, boy, I tell you what, this interview was something else because you could tell from even the line of questioning, the way they were trying to frame it. Listen to this one question right here. It's almost like no matter how you answer it, you're already alluding to a certain notion.
And what role would you say his father has played in this? Because he's been a very visible part of Ja Morant's career from the beginning.
So you see where they're getting at. It is what it is. Ja Morant, he's got to watch his back because the NBA has always been a business where they're looking to replace you, whether you're the star or not, because you're one injury away from even ending up like guys like Victor Oladipo. He was a guy going up against LeBron James in a Game 7 on the cusp of getting almost an $80 million contract. And this is before the new TV money kicked in. And he went from that happening to being a traded journeyman piece to being out of the league. So it is what it is. We'll see how the Grizzlies can kind of shape up their system. The version of their team with Desmond Bane is pretty much over. And this is a second chapter. But not too many players get that Trae Young chance to kind of start over with 3 different teams. Sometimes the franchises, they bail out on the players a lot faster. But we'll see how things go.
Were you and the coaching staff able to talk about what happened Friday and move on?
Y'all asked that question to them, huh?
What about for you?
Y'all asked that question, so y'all know the answer to that.
Do you feel like everything's been resolved?
Yeah. They told y'all that, right?
Well, yeah, but
There
we
you
didn't
go.
hear it from you.
Obviously, they can't go and tell y'all something I ain't say.
You feel like you get the same joy right now that we used to see from you?
No.
Why not?
What can be done to get it back?
We'll see.
Do you think you have a good relationship with the franchise
Yeah.
in general?
Yeah. They told y'all that, right?
I didn't say anything about that.
If I had a good relationship, I wouldn't talk to him at all. So, and we had our combos over these.
Do you have any
stuff.
regrets about the way you played on Friday night in the second half?
You said what?
Do you have any regrets about the way you played in the game? I'm not talking about the
That's your
post-game
home
stuff.
run question? Sound like a bait question.